Welcome back to my channel. Today we are breaking down the common tools we are using as Amazon sellers to grow a successful business. If you do any sort of research online, you will see a common phrase, which is just scan it. It's the idea that you walk into a store if you're retail arbitrage, shopping in a store for things to sell online. And you just start scanning aimlessly and hope that you find a product to sell. And I want to say there is a much better way. I will be in certain situations where walking into a store and scanning through the clearance section or something that just pops out is not a terrible method. My dog, everybody. But in most cases, scanning aimlessly in a store is such a waste of time, and I find people end up purchasing product just to buy a product because they feel like they wasted 4 hours and they don't want to leave with nothing. And again, there is so much better. I think this is a good point in our conversations about Amazon to introduce research. I would say research, developing a process for research is where I spend most of my personal time in my business and most of my time teaching in the Crazy Flippin' Mom community, because really it's the idea if somebody learns how to research and find the product for themselves, they will never be in a situation on a tanked out leads list lost. You'll always be able to find the product you need and you'll have the tools to do that. Instead of walking into your local Walmart and walking around aimlessly, I want to give you a couple tips and tools to change out for those things. First, you're only going into a store if you have something to buy. And of course there's asterisks there, right? Sometimes I go into a store because I feel like it's a new season, new products are being put out, and I'm just curious. What's available now? What does the clearance section look like now? I'm not saying you can't ever go into a store without purpose, but we're just limiting that time, so we're making the most use of our time. I tend to sit at a computer for most of my research, and once I know what I'm going to purchase, either online or in a store, that's when I take action. So here are a couple things that would be helpful. If you are new to this space, it might be useful to go into your local Walmart, but instead of walking around, go in and think of a category you can see yourself selling. This is why I like grocery, specifically baking. So I will go to the baking section, and there's typically turnaround depending on what holiday and season it is, and I will take pictures of that section. This is good for several reasons. One, if you go to the store and you're hoping to find something, typically when you come home, you can never remember what you find in the store. And really it's to give yourself material to go home and research, which is also great because sometimes if you subscribe to leads lists, none of this stuff you can find on the list. So in this case, you're actually researching from product you know you have available right now in a store. So in this method, you go into the store, maybe you do take pictures of the clearance, seasonal, baking, a specific category sticks out to you. You come home, you sit at a computer, and this is where the research happens. You start cross-referencing those pictures you took of whatever it is to Amazon, and then you start running them through your programs and tools that you have. I think this is the most kept secret in this space. We are all using research tools. I don't want to say cannot build a successful Amazon business without them, but you have to have Keepa. Keepa, and I will show you what that looks like, but really is the data, the sales history, what's happening on that listing. If this will be a good place to put your time, money, and effort. Without research tools, it is buying blindly. Who knows what has happened in the past seasons, and who knows what's coming. Maybe the brand sells this and you just found the listing when the brand was out of stock. And there are 1,000 different situations why looking at the listing and then making a proper buying choice is the best way to go. People ask me, like, if I go to Marshall's and TJ Maxx and random stores and Ace Hardware stores, am I just taking pictures and driving back and forth all over? No, I have some tools on my phone that I can use, but after doing this for 4 years, you do see similar products popping up. So I've sold a certain type of Valentine's candy, and when I see it again in a different form, or maybe a 2-pack this time, or a multi-pack, it just starts making a little bit more sense. But definitely if you're starting from square one, I would not recommend blind purchasing any products because you really have no history to back that decision. Ready? First step is really thinking about a process, how you can do this in saving the most amount of time, the most amount of trips to the store. And that is where if you do find good products, you can place orders online and have them sent directly to you. But limiting the amount of time you're wandering a store is step one. I, once again, highly recommend downloading Keepa. There's so many free resources out there to show you how to properly read a Keepa chart, but really it's following graphs and figures. It's not too crazy to read. I used Keepa for many years to find products that were only available at my local stores, like Menards. Menards is only available in the Midwest. There are no shopping limits as far as quantities, and there's 11% rebate. You can place orders online for delivery, for pickup, and so it just like checked all the boxes for me. So I would use Keepa to single out products and other sellers who sold products from Menards to find new products. There are ways to use Keepa to storefront stock to find products that kind of fit your niche. And discontinued is a great category to show this feature on. I love selling discontinued. Typically in the summers when we're traveling, I like to stop at hardware stores. And so just to keep myself fresh on what paint is being discontinued, spray paint, cleaners, things I want to be aware of, sometimes the research I do will happen on Keepa. And I'm using storefront stocking in a very specific way, which is looking at other sellers, their products they have available, that mimic the products I want to sell on Amazon. And so it tends to, if you find somebody selling discontinued products, they typically have a lot of them. And it can be a great teaching tool to then know what to keep an eye out for when you go outsourcing. Okay, let's look at this Clorox bleach pen. This is a great discontinued product. You'll see the price is sky high. It is for one bleach pen, so BOLO. If we scroll down on this chart, you will see the Keepa chart. Sellers are coming in and out all the time. So how can we use a Keepa chart like this to serve our research time and expand on the products we can list and we know about, especially in a niche category like discontinued? This is also something I love to do in the hazmat category because hazmat tends to not be as crowded as far as sellers go. So I'm going to click over to data. And let's see, right now, if you see here, we are not including historical offers. So it is just showing you the 2 sellers on this listing. And you can scroll over, look at their storefront stock. But in this case, once you click include historical offers, every seller who has ever sold on this listing will appear. And this is where you can take the time, sit down, and look at other products that they may have that are discontinued. I would just put a kind reminder out there to when you are looking at other people's products, to be aware we are all trying to make money. We all can make money, and somebody doesn't have to come in and drop the price significantly for that to happen. This is just one very quick and simple way to niche down in a category and find products that fit the way you want to sell on Amazon. It's something I don't see a lot of people talking about because typically we're using Keepa to quickly roll through a lot of products and scale our catalog. And there are other ways out there. It is not always about scaling to the moon, but just finding a handful of profitable products that you can make consistent money every month on. And that is a great place to start. It's a great way to learn without over leveraging yourself. And I think Keepa is such an easy, cheaper tool that you can start using and looking at today to start making smarter decisions. Keepa also has an app you can download on your phone. And this is just the beginning of researching our conversation on research. There are a lot of tools out there. I have used a lot of them, many of them, and the ones that I still use today, I've used for years and years because they just fit the way I like to research and shop. So, and that is typically what happens here. You will search YouTube and find ways other people are using the software programs out there. And then you kind of really start honing in on how you want Amazon to work for you, and then putting the tools in place to create that process. Bottom line, don't walk into a store anymore randomly looking around, getting frustrated, especially if you're new. You go in really overwhelmed, like somebody knows you're in there to find products to sell. It's like this fear. We're now not a fear at all. I love talking to a manager. I love seeing if they have products in the back. I want to be as helpful as I can. I don't want to clean off shelves if there are limited stock on like a heavy demand product. I prefer to reach out to somebody working there to see if there is a possibility of a larger purchase from the back. So reach out to other people. Don't be afraid to share what you do. You might be surprised. It opens more doors than it closes. Thank you for watching this today. I hope it was helpful and encouraging on your seller journey. Bye.